Welcome to Module 9. In the previous module, we did some design application. We took our logo and we created a presentation for it. We also created some social media designs and created a few icons. In this module, we'll be looking at how to create your portfolio and how to get some gigs. Let's dive into it. So let's start with the design brief. What is a design brief? A design brief is a written document that outlines the details and requirements of a design project. It acts as a guide for the designer, ensuring that the final output aligns with the client's expectations, their goals, and their objectives. So let's discuss the key components of a design brief. The first one is the project overview. Now, this is a brief summary of the project. It includes what needs to be designed, why the design is needed, and what it's supposed to achieve. For example, increase brand awareness, to make an announcement, or whatever the case may be. Two, we also have the target audience. Now, this is information about the people the design is intended to reach, such as their age, their gender, their interest, and behavior. We also have brand guidelines. Now, this gives you details about the brand's current design elements, including their logos, their fonts, their colors, and style. If there's an established identity, it should be maintained in the new design. Now, we also have another section called deliverables. And in this section, you will see a clear outline of what the client expects. For example, logo in various formats, a website layout, or printed materials. Now, another section that you might find is timeline and deadlines, and this provides the key dates for progress updates, drafts, or revisions. Another section is the budget, and this is the amount of money allocated for the project. And you might also find inspiration and references. Any references or examples of styles the client likes, whether from competitors, mood boards, or inspirational designs. So now let's look at interpreting a design brief. Understanding your design brief is essential to delivering a successful design project. Begin by thoroughly reading the brief and asking any necessary follow up questions to clarify unclear points. Focus on the key priorities, such as the project's goals, target audience, and brand identity. Ensure the design aligns with the client's expectations and brand guidelines. This is essential to delivering a successful design project. Begin by thoroughly reading the brief and asking any necessary follow up questions to clarify any unclear points. Focus on key priorities such as the project's goals, target audience, and brand identity. Ensure the design aligns with the client's expectations and brand guidelines. Manage the scope by assessing the timeline, the budget, and deliverables to avoid any misunderstandings. And finally, anticipate feedback and be prepared for revisions, ensuring that your design decisions are grounded in the brief's objectives. Now that you understand what a brief is, the key components, and how to understand it, let's look at designing your portfolio. Now, there are a lot of options. You can create a custom website, or at this stage, you can use other tools that have been created for designers to showcase their work. And I'll be showing you one of them in Behance. Remember, we looked at Behance where we saw different designs and sets for designs when we were looking for design inspiration. So here we'll create an account and put our own designs in Behance using the elements that we created from the last two modules. Let's dive right in. So when you go to behance.net, if you didn't already create an account when we talked about Behance and Pinterest, you would see the dashboard that looks something like this. The homepage, you find designs. You can search for designs and look around, or you can go here to either log in if you have an account or sign up. Now you click on that button. So here you understand the sign up process. You can use your Google, your Facebook, your Apple ID, Microsoft accounts, or your line chat number. Or you can use your email address. You type in your email address, type in your password, and continue and set up your accounts essentially. So I already have an account new, fresh for this demonstration. So let's just head to that. Once you get into your Behance, once you've signed in, you have your dashboard that looks something like this. If you don't find that on the home page, you can simply just click on your profile here and it will bring you to this page. And you can quickly see a few sections here. Let's just go around. You can see here, you can click here to edit your profile info. You can customize profile, but you can see that this is a pro feature. You can add a banner. So sort of like your Facebook banner or your Twitter banner that's behind your profile picture. So you can set a banner, you can see the size here. And this is another opportunity for you to create a design. So you can create 3200 by 410 pixels to design a banner and upload that here. You can come in here to edit your profile info. Let's go there quickly. And here you can have the following details, your occupation. So let's say graphic designer. You can leave the company blank. You can add your website URL if you have a different website, or you can leave that blank as well. Imputes other information. If you have a team or you want to create a team or join a team, you use this section. You can link your accounts, so your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and you can see the others. And here, the About Me section, which is very important. This is where you sell yourself. You can talk about your journey into design, talk about the kind of designs that you like and the kind of designs that you create. You can also add your work experience relevant to design. You can add other links here if you have. So you can see all the sections here, teams on the web to connect your accounts. You can see the About Me section. You can see the work experience. You can see your links. And you can also add a custom section, right? So let's say you want to talk about a particular project that you worked on. You can say a sample project as an example. And in the description, you share more details. And when you add this section, when people go to your profile, after all the sections there, your about, your links, and all those other ones that you've added, the custom section will be added. So you can even add more sections if you like. So let's go back to our profile and you set that up. Here is where you have your work projects. This is where you add them. When people go into your accounts, they see your profile, sort of like this. They see your banner, they see your about section, and all those details that we've created on here. And then they see your projects. So let's go into create a project. And you can see the options that we have, right? We can bring in an image at the top here. We can add text. We can create a photo grid with different photos. We can add a video. We can embed a link. We can use prototypes and all these, but relevant to us, our image, our text, our photo grid. If you have a video, for example, you've done a video to describe the project, you can also link that here. So let's say we want text. We can start with a text and say project name, project name. We can increase the size of our text, can make it big. So it's sort of like a custom page. You can change the alignment, move it centered. Let's make it bold and say we have our project name here. And then we can say we want, we can insert an image, or you can just come in here to drag in the box and say, oh, we want an image. And it takes us to our computer. So let's go and find some of our designs. Let's bring in our social media design, for example, and let's open that. And it shows something like this. If on the same project you created multiple designs, you can upload all of them and then set the photo grid and just work around that to create a full page that looks something like you would like your client to see. Let's bring in more photos. So let's click on image and use random photos for the demonstration of that. Let's see, we have our man dancing. Let's bring that in. If you go down, you can see that your image has been added. Let's bring in another image. Let's select another. Let's bring in another image and select this. So remember our image with the transparent area. But then again, this would be your designs, so you scale them for what you would like. So if you add a photo grid, for example, so here see that we have full images. We have a full image here. We have a full image here. We have a full image here. So we can add multiple images using the photo grid. So let's go to image. Here we can select multiple images. So let's select 1, 2, 3, 4, and bring them in. So for example, you can have the top being your header image after the project name. And then after your header image, you can add more text and give more description into the project, how you worked around it, and just a few things that you did. And then you can add one more image or two, depending on the number of images you have available to you. And after that, you can have a little bit more text and a photo grid that has the other images in smaller sizes, sort of like this. You can see this here. Let's go down and we can bring in a text here. So we have a text box here. So let's say we're adding description here. This project was a social media design one, and I was tasked with the responsibility create a design for a content marketing company. So let's say we have something like that, we can align in center. And so what you have is something that looks like you have your project name, you have, let's change this to rights, social, right, social media flyer. So then we have our header image. You go down, we see some description. You go down, you see some images, and then you see a photo grid. You can also add some text in here and say, find a few more images below, showcasing some more elements created, like mockups, icons, and illustrations. And you can center this, make this center. You can also use styling options. You can make it bold, make it italic, underline it depending on what you want. You can also change the color here. So you want this to be some color of blue, and we can add that and confirm. And so we have that here, and we have something that looks like this. So let's view a preview so that we see what this looks like. When a client comes in and they go into your project, what would they see? So let's wait for this to load. So you can see what it looks like. You can add more text, you can add more images, you can add more photo grids. You can see the tools that you have here. You can bring in a video, a photo grid, a text, an image. You can embed a link. So let's go further. And you can also attach assets for people to download. For example, you have a template that you've created and you want to post that on Behance, and attach the assets so that people can go in and download. So let's click on continue. And here you can add more information. You can see that this has selected a cover. You can edit cover image to change it, and then it will give you different images from your projects to choose from. Let's just work with this one and say, let's use this and copy that. So we have that, and we say sample project. That's the title. We can add some tags. So remember, when we're searching for design inspiration, we'll type in graphic design, logo design, etc. So this is where you add your keywords so that people can find your designs when they search. So here we can say social media design, social media, and you see some tags here. Social media, you can say logo, and you see some tags here. You can say logo design, and just select the relevant keywords to that project. What tools did you use? We can say Adobe Photoshop. Come here, add Adobe again, Illustrator, And you can select whatever tool you used, and you can type in Canva, same. So how would you categorize this project? We select graphic design. You can select other types of design, as you can see here. Behance visibility. Do you want people to be able to see it? Well, if you don't have a pro account, you can hide your design. So we select everyone. Um, Here, copyright and license, you can edit this from all right reserved to the different options that you have here. And this project contains adult content. If it does, select that. Otherwise, you can go in and either save it as draft so that you still have it there, or you can publish it. So let's publish so that we can see what it looks like. And now we have our project page that looks something like this. And here they give you a link. This will be after let's publish. So here they'll show you a link. You can copy this and share this link to your project. And when anybody clicks on that link, it brings them to this page. They see your title, they see your cover, they see the text that you've added, they see your images, how you added them and arranged them. Remember, in the editing phase, they see your text. You can add more text, you can add more images depending on the project and what you have, and you can add your photo grid. People can come in, the ones who have Behance accounts, and drop a comment, like your work, and you can see here the tools that you use. If there's anything to download, you'll see a download button as well. They can share your project and they can also save it to their mood boards. So this is what it looks like. And let's go back to our profile. Once we're there, we can see our projects appear here. So remember, when people come on here, they'll see your banner, they'll see your profile image, they'll see your all the things that you added in your profile information, and then in the center, you'll see your projects. Remember, we only added just one, so we can add more projects over here. We can see the number of people that have viewed our project or liked our projects. We can see that over here. And you can add more here. So pending the time that you get a .com or you create a custom website, Behance is a very, very important tool that you can use to showcase your work. So when people come and say, oh, hey, what have you done? You can send them your Behance profile. And once they come in here, they see your information, the ones that you've added, they see the designs that you've worked on. Remember, you can change the layers of each design project. You can add some text at the top, add at the bottom, whatever template you like or layouts. And you can do that for each individual project. And once you have that, they come in here, they see your project, and they can decide whether or not they want to work with you. So Behance is a very, very important tool for this. You can simply copy your link here. If you copy this link over here and share this link with anyone, once they come, they see your profile. So let's look at a few more things that we might be able to do here. You can, this is also a pro feature. Everything that you see that has the pro here is a pro feature. So previously we didn't talk about changing your profile image. So if you wanted to do that, you come to your profile settings, or let's go back so I show you again. Let's go to edit profile info. And then once you're in here, you have the option to upload an image like you do with every other thing here. You can go to your about me, change your about me, add your work experience, add links. So you can add links to a website or a project or something. And here you can add some custom sections. You can see that it's been added here, a sample project. You can add another custom section depending on what information you want to share with the people who come to your Behance profile. So Behance is a very, very good site for you to start with. And just almost immediately after you're done with this course, you can bring in the designs that you've worked on. Even if you redesign something, you can bring that in and add some details about why you did the redesign, why you added this, why you changed this, and how you worked around that, and upload it into your Behance account. And then people who come can go in, see the project, see the design, see the text that you've added with information, and they can interact with you from there. Or you can also add, if you've added your email address in your about section, they can send you an email. If you choose to add a phone number, they can send you a phone number. Or if you send the link directly to them, they can contact you directly and let you know when you start the project. So now that we've talked about how to get your portfolio set up and start showcasing your work. In the next video, we'll be sharing tips and tricks on how to get your first gigs. So, see you there.